How's it going, everybody? RyeSquad here today, and we are back with your Calgary Flames here in, I believe, episode number 11. And guys, I am officially back from my vacation, so we can now get rolling again with your Flames. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Sorry, I'm taking a look at my iPad here, trying to figure out what episode we actually are on, and looking at all the comments that you guys have left me since I was on vacation. You guys are amazing, crushing it with the like goals and everything too, so can we keep going? Hit the like button if you guys are enjoying this series and want to see us continue to push forward here in season number 4. Now, we've got to jump into the offseason first, and there's a lot of meticulous planning that we have to do. There's a lot of great commentary out there, and I appreciate those of you that leave very detailed comments. Those of you that may feel like it potentially is backseat gaming, don't worry about it, because I feel like this is a collaboration, right? I'm still going to make the decision at the end of the day, but if you guys provide something ingenious or just a good direction to take the team, or maybe something for me to think about or chew on, right? I love that. That's why I post these videos on YouTube for you guys instead of just doing this on my own time whenever I want to. I got all the recording set up stuff for you guys. And I want to hear your thoughts and commentary too. So there was plenty to dive into, but I will touch on that when we get there. A lot of potential lines for next season. I love seeing that stuff because, you know, lines are always one of those, everybody's got a different idea of how the lines are going to go. But this is a screen that we're not used to seeing, really. I think this will be interesting, right? We got 5-year deal at $3.168 million offered to us by the Calgary Flames, or we could move to the Ducks, the team that just beat us. Now, a lot of teams actually want our services, and this could be something interesting down the line if we end up turning our team into a dynasty. Maybe we turn it around or change it. Actually, they aren't offering us a 5-year deal. It's a 3-year deal. I guess the owner's lying to me, but it's another 3 years here in Calgary, which I will absolutely be taking, guys. I really like this part of owner mode, is the fact that you actually get to potentially move from team to team. And I think I'm going to stick with Calgary. Obviously, we just got started 3 years in. We just got the team to a spot where I think we're very close to hoisting a cup. Need a couple key acquisitions and need the team to gel throughout the season. Really, I don't want to make too many moves that strip pieces away from the team, right? So we'll take a look at the contracts here in a second, but I will sign on the dotted line, and RyeSquad is back here in Calgary. And I was about to say Chicago, but our AHL team won the Calder Cup. So those of you that were saying Lekaramaki and Coronado and those guys, they're ready. I agree with you. They just hoisted the Calder Cup. They've got championship pedigree, I guess. You could say that. They can bring some of that experience here to the NHL. So those guys will be coming up. And congratulations to Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks for jumping huge. Like, I mean, they were great in year number 1, but now in year number 3, for them to be to win the cup, to win the whole dang thing, that's pretty impressive. But let's take a look at the team and what we're working with, right? We got to get in the right mindset for the offseason. And the big one here to me is goaltending, right? It's the number one thing. We traded away Rasmus Andersson. He still could come back, but we'll see. Spencer Knight still does not want a contract extension despite us making the playoffs. I could sign him for another 1-year deal. He would be an RFA at the end of next year's deal. 2 years would walk him all the way to UFA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until we get to the re-sign phase right after the draft. See what Spencer Knight is asking for. See if he wants a contract extension. I will absolutely qualify him. So if anybody wants to sign him for what he wants, they'd have to give us plenty of picks. But I'm hoping that I can kind of... This is a negotiation that I think is going to take a long time throughout the offseason. It's going to be a while. I don't think we're going to get him signed on July 1st or any time before that. I think it might be one of those that I'll update you guys in late August, early September. But him and Vladar are the plan and goal. In the system, we've got Holm, Dawes, Dansk, and Kvaka. I mean, I'm fine with Holm. He wants to come back. I'll probably let him go. Jerry Corso is looking very close to ready. And that's probably something I want to keep in mind. Kvaka, I probably want to let him go. Holm, I'll let him go. Dawes, Dansk, and Corso are going to be the guys, and maybe I will get rid of Dansk, and Jerry Corso will be our goaltender, our backup goaltender in the AHL next year. At 19, already up to a 69, is growing nicely. He's listed currently as an other goalie. I guess he'd have to get into the mid-70s to be a minor league backup, but I still think that's fine for him. He is going to need a contract extension, right? This is the last year we have his rights, so we will go ahead and sign him. once we get to the re-sign phase, so we don't end up losing out on a year of his ELC. But now we're going to move in front of the goaltenders to the blue line, and things look good here. There's a lot to consider. Sean Durzi is expiring. I'd love to bring him back. Now, what does he want? I feel like 4 years, $5 million is perfect for a guy like Sean Durzi. Looking at our options as far as cap space, we do have $24 million in cap space. So a 4-year deal at $5 million for a guy like Sean Durzi, who we saw play well for us, 10 points in 18 games and was a +9. Oh, by the way, he was playing a ton of ice time at 23 minutes. I believe he was up on the top pairing with Hanifin. He'll probably play on the top pairing with Mason Jackson next year. I know some of you said to go out and look for a top right-handed defenseman. I like the idea. I will definitely take a look at that. And it's a guy like Josh Manson here, too. 34-year-old defenseman. He wasn't very good when we brought him in. Oh my God, the giveaway to takeaway ratio is horrible. And I know defensemen aren't going to have a good one, but to have 6 takeaways and 36 giveaways is actually kind of crazy. I want to see, like, what is... I know Luke Hughes has stirred up some controversy or criticism in the comment section. So, oh my God, that's also very bad. That's 3. I mean, I guess that's like 3-1 giveaways to takeaways. It's not 6-1 giveaway to takeaways. I still believe in Luke Hughes. Again, he's got another 4 years at $4 million. I don't really want to cut bait with him just yet. And same thing with Cormier. Lucas Cormier, I think he's fine as a defenseman that can play on the third line or third pairing, right? I think to really maximize these guys, it may be time to move on from our coach. And I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like what we need in a coach right now is somebody who's going to take this team that we have and get them to play well now. He's got A- offense, B power play, right? He's a good teacher, but most of our coaching staff needs to be revitalized, right? Our associate coach is better than our assistant coach. Maybe I would keep Scrimes. I don't like the C offense. We need to be able to put up points. He's got the A+ power play, which is great. B- defense isn't bad, and then B penalty kill, right? B- influence also isn't bad, but what I am thinking is we probably want to go all in on the coaching staff and get some guys that are really going to take this team forward. Now, Anthony Hawley here could absolutely bring him back. We know he fits with the team pretty well, but behind the net, balanced is blah. And then especially the defensive pairing 3. Hold the line and balanced is just a death sentence for any defensive pairing. So I think that's been part of the reason why our depth defensemen too, I say depth defensemen, they're our third pairing defensemen. They're going to play 12 minutes a night, 13 minutes a night. That's probably part of the reason why we haven't found guys that have had too much success on that bottom pairing. So taking a look at the defenseman, right? Cormier did not have a great year, but I still believe in him. He's only 24. I think he can contribute offensively. We've seen him be able to do it. +33 down in the AHL. And in his rookie season, -24 is not good. He was playing 14 minutes a night. His giveaway to takeaway ratio is actually pretty solid. It's more of like a 2-to-1 ratio. So I think Cormier is actually, him and Hughes. I know it's a lot of offensive defensemen, but my goal for Hughes is to hopefully groom him into a top pairing defenseman too. We'll see, right? We got 4 more years at $4 million. That's my hope. I'm not ready to cut bait with him or Cormier. One of those two guys, I'm going to give them another season. We got another 2 years of Cormier at 1.075. That is nothing, right? That is not going to hurt us at all. And his play on the ice is not that detrimental, not so detrimental that I need to get rid of him because I still believe in his future, right? So Hanifin, Durzi, Jackson, Hughes, and Cormier, that makes 5. Giordano, I guess, still wants to keep playing. I kind of brought him in because I thought he would retire a Flame and we'd be good to go there, but I guess not. Josh Manson here, does he fit the third? See, he doesn't either. He's balanced shoot, so he's average. Well, I think we need a new coach who gets a better chemistry for the blue line, right? Noah Hanifin here is pinch balanced, pinch cycle, pinch shoot, balance shoot, pinch cycle, right? We need a pinch. I really do feel like we need a current coach who's got pinch on all lines, or at least balanced, and then maybe balance shoot on the bottom pairing. I'm not sure, but I definitely think I want to change the coach. I feel like our players will work with anybody. It's just the bottom pairing, right? That it just hurts when you have those that don't match either. Looking in the system, we have Ty Smith and Krall, as well as potentially Kuznetsov, depending on how he develops. But these guys can come up and be our 7th defenseman. One of them can be, right? We take a look at the main roster. We got Hanifin, Dursey, Jackson Hughes, Cormier. We go sign somebody, and then Ty Smith or Philip Krall, probably one of these two, pinch balance, pinch cycle, right? Whoever fits better, probably Krall. Or whoever jumps, right? One of these two guys is going to come up and going to be our 7th defenseman. So really, I probably want to find a top pairing veteran defenseman. And is that Rasmus Andersson? Certainly could be. We'll see if he hits free agency. I'd love to bring him back. But for now, I'm targeting a top 4 defenseman, probably somebody 87 or better, somebody that will be able to partner with Mason Jackson. And then potentially as they age out, Luke Hughes grows into the 85, 86, 87 role. And that's my hope. Same thing with Cormier, potentially. And I think we'll have somebody who's aging out as those guys are ready to absolutely take the reins. But then we come to the forward core, which looks really, really impressive and is locked up, right? We have another year of Zykov on his ELC, which is beautiful. We've got Lindholm, Thompson, Kuzmenko, Zykov, Huberdeau, Mangiapane, Peterka, Zari, Coronado, Johansson, Lekaramaki, Peltier, and then Yamamoto. And I believe, where's Ruzicka? Do they have him in the system? Ruzicka's in the system. He's a 79. He is not thrilled. He at this point, guys, he hates his individual performance, and he really is not a fan of me. So at this point, I feel like if there was somebody to move on from, there's one more year of Ruzicka. He would open up that spot on the top 9, right? For potentially Lekaramaki or Coronado, whichever one of them decides to step up. But we got Lindholm, Thompson, Kuzmenko, Zykov, Huberdeau, and I did see the comment that mentioned put Lekaramaki on the second line, and I actually really like that because his shooting category is absolutely worth it. It's just a question of the defensive category. So we'll just for now do Zykov, Huberdeau, Mangiapane, Peterka, Zari, Coronado, and then Peltier, Lekaramaki, and maybe somebody in free agency. I'd like to bring back, I think, Kyler Yamamoto. I mean, I know he's small, but again, he played very well for what we asked him to do. He did put up 18 points, was a -1, so maybe I want a two-way center. I don't really want to put Ruzicka as the 4th line center. I feel like Peltier on the 4th line there is the two-way forward. Matt Coronado here is a sniper. He's got great playmaking ability. He's just really bad defensively. Connor Zari, Peterka, Mangiapane, I think that's a ridiculously good 3rd line. Lekaramaki, I just mentioned it, but my plan is to have him on the 2nd line. I think he can hold his own offensively. It's that defensive category that really, really scares me. Those shooting stats are great. Offensive awareness of 87, passing and puck control of 85, 87. He still may jump in the offseason, but man, oh man, is that defensive category horrible. 79 defensive awareness. And 84 stick checking is not bad. Is not going to block a lot of shots. But for what he is, he's a goal scorer, right? And he's going to score goals. And if he's scoring goals and taking the puck away, apparently, who am I to complain about how aware he is defensively? But Peltier is also starting to be a little bit upset with his ice time. Lekaramaki's listed as that. We'll focus on that stuff later. But I think for now, all that we need on the forward core is finding a 4th line center. Is that one of these guys down here? Schwint, potentially. He's certainly got the makeup of a 13th forward, a 14th forward. Could be Pospisil here. He's already been in the NHL before. We've seen what he can do. Ruzicka at 2.5. I feel like it's an injustice for him at a 79. He's listed as a 2nd line forward here, guys. I do think that if I move him, it's probably for the better and probably what he wants, because we just have too many 2nd line forwards, and he's not going on the 2nd line over a guy like Zykov, Huberdeau, or maybe even Mangiapane, right? Peterka and Zari could still jump as well. We've got the young guns in Coronado and Lekaramaki. I feel like I definitely need to move on from somebody, and Ruzicka's unhappiness is probably going to be the reason why we move on from him. But it's now time to get up to the draft and really just get this offseason underway. Salary cap went up to 95, which is nice to see that. And then, okay, Edmonton won the lottery. They moved up from 13. Jesus freaking... I just got Zykov from them, and they just decide to move up to 3. Oh my God, it's got to be rigged. Come on, this is absolutely rigged. But they move up from 13 to 3. San Jose does go up from 2 to 1. LA drops from 1 to 2 because Edmonton could only move up 10 spots. But damn, 13. I mean, they just got rid of Zykov. They just got Jorgen Rensfeldt, who I traded them, and now they're going to get the 3rd best player in the draft. Wow, okay. And then I failed the 75% concession happiness. That's fine. Scouting, player retirement. Who is going to retire? Is it Joe Pavelski? Let's go by games played. Pavelski, Vlasic, the Stahl brothers retired. Phil the Thrill Kessel, Cogliano, Mark Stahl also retires. Chris Letang, Milan Lucic, Goligoski, Jack Johnson, Bailey, Broussard, Martin, Maroon, Glendening. Wow, that's a lot of veteran players that are calling it quits. There's more here too. Good amount of players, but Mark Giordano does not retire. Aaron Dells, screw that guy, and Michael Hutchinson retired as for goaltenders. So it is what it is. Pavelski's now a coach for the Coyotes. Stahl and Letang, Mark Stahl that is, are now scouts. So very interesting to see there. Any coaches retiring? Okay, so a couple of our AHL coaches again are retiring on a high. So Troy York and Zachary Higgins are gonna retire. I'm not going to bother with the draft day interviews, and we are now ready to get to the draft where, taking a look at our draft board, what pick do we have? We've got the 18th overall pick, as well as 3 thirds, 2 fourths, a 5th, 6th, and a 7th, right? So we do have room to move around. So we're at 18. We could move up, giving up a couple of those thirds. We could even move back into the 2nd if we decide to stay at 18. So let's take a look at the draft class and who we could potentially go after. Obviously, you can see these guys at the top. We're not going to get them. Torsten Hedin, nope. Rocky Faith, and then Gavin McKenna is probably another elite forward that's NHL ready, is probably going to the Edmonton Oilers. So that's great for them. But taking a look here, Dante Earl, a defensive defenseman that could be medium elite. Actually, there is a left winger here, Benjamin Eckford, 3 years away, is medium elite. Is a sniper. Nicholas Hopkins, how far away are you? 1 year away, Mikko Maki. He is 3 bars 1 year away, but that actually, he definitely is a defensive defenseman with the way that looks. With Cycle Pinch as a defensive defenseman, that's honestly like almost kind of worth the pick. There's a medium elite goaltender here, who's 4 years away. There's Laurent Days, who's pretty close to being a medium elite pick. Oh man, there's a lot of interesting things happening here. Benjamin Eckford is the surefire medium elite. I'm just worried about the fact that, I mean, yes, the shooting category is great, but the rest of his game is absolutely horrific. Balance cycle, balance, then behind the net is also not what I like to see. Earl here is listed as a gem. 3 years away, Cycle Pinch does look pretty good as a defensive defenseman, but it's 2-bar medium elite. And then there's Laurent Days here, who's also 3 years away with Shoot Pinched. He looks okay. I mean, he doesn't look bad at all. Then some guys down here with 2-bar medium elite later on in the draft. We've got a full low elite here in Alan Ferguson. He's only 18, which is great. 5 years away, and dump, balance, energy, block behind the net. Not great, but you know what? We'd take those at in the 90s. As far as medium top 6s, there's Stanislav Bure as well at pick 83. Could be a good option to go up and get. Brian Watkins here is 3 years away at 36, but that's probably not where we want to go with that pick. As far as defenseman prospects, we have a couple here. And Francisco McCarron, who's 1 year away here at pick 32. Wow, that is a really good defenseman. Two-way defenseman, but he's size and skill, shutdown ability, shoot, pinch. Interesting. And then we have a 3 year away defenseman here at pick 34. So the question is, what do we want to do? Do we want to get the defenseman who's probably 73, 74 overall? who looks really good. It looks like a good defensive defenseman, and we could move down. I guess we could look to see what it would take to get the pick number 30. Or do we want to potentially move up because we are pick 18 here? There's Guy Henrique. There's also 1 year away Jason Ryan, the playmaker, who looks really good at 6'2". Wow, there is a lot of interesting directions to go here. This is really gonna stress my brain, and of course, you guys have the benefit of hindsight as you're watching this, so you'll know whether or not I made a good decision. I mean, the goaltender's probably off the boards, right? We're not taking a goaltender here in the first round. That's not really what this team needs. We have Spencer Knight. We should be okay. Laurent Days, the potentially medium elite defenseman. Call me crazy, but I'd almost rather want Francisco McCarron, who's definitely better now and is absolutely a top 4 defenseman. We know that for a fact. They could both be top 4 defensemen, right? We don't know that Laurent Days is medium elite, and he's 3 years away. So, oh man. Okay. I'm glad I'm taking a look at this now and we aren't just jumping in and getting surprised by it. Jason Ryan also looks very good. He's just about at our pick, but I mean, do we move up for Benjamin Eckford? I don't think it's worth it to move up there. There's also Dante Earl, who's a gem. Again, I think the gems are complete just random BS. They don't actually do anything for me. I think I might want to trade down and take a couple of those defensemen because potential NHL defenseman prospects are not there. So if we trade down into the 30s, right? Trade down to 30. We can take Francisco McCarron. We could take Coco as well. Jalen Ferrelli, these guys are 4 or 5 years away. 2 years away here from Matthias Preston. 2 years away. It's still not quite worth going and getting and targeting. Anybody else that's close to the NHL level? Maybe I would go after them, but there's another goalie here that's potentially medium elite in the 50s. I mean, good Lord, this is a really, really strong draft class. This could be really good for us. And I think what we need now is less going after elite talent and more going after cheap talent. Talent that's going to be here sooner rather than later. You know, if we need to move on from, Hughes or Cormier, having one of those guys in a year or two might make it worth it. So I think what I'd like to do is actually move down into the 30s and then take both of those defensemen. Both of the defensemen at 32, McCarron here and then Coco. McCarron is absolutely Coco. Tony Coco here, 3 years away, medium top 4 exactly. There's also is anybody else down here better? There's Aiden Lyon here, who's potentially 2 years away, but again, I don't trust it. We don't really know much about him. We know for a fact he's a medium top 6. I don't trust that those are actually his ratings because of how little they have actually scouted him. The goaltender at 25 would be nice. Laurent Days, if he's actually medium elite, would be awesome. It's going to take him a little bit to get here, but when he does, it would be awesome. Again, Ramo Santavuori, Len Tan, Henry. So this is now where we would be picking. Jason Ryan looks very good. 1 year away, playmaking winger. There's Benjamin Eckford, who we know for a fact is medium elite and does have the trade value. The question is am I trading this up to get him to trade him? Because looking at those skills, A- shooting, that's what he's got, is a great shot. Everything else looks pretty bad, and I'm wondering if he's ever going to develop it. It could certainly be something we look into. Dmitry Markov here is 1 year away, medium top 6, two-way forward. Again, I feel like taking those defensemen. I like the idea of taking the two defensemen. One for, Francisco McCarron here is going to be just 1 year away, and he fits cycle pinch or shoot pinch. And then Tony Coco is 3 years away with cycle pinch, and another good defenseman. And I think if we take a look, what does the draft board suggest our weaknesses are? I'd say the forward depth chart is A+. The defensive depth chart is a weakness, right? We don't have top prospects. We don't have many prospects. We don't have top 4 defensemen. I've really kind of focused on getting forwards. Now I need to get defensemen, and defensemen who are good are very expensive to get. So I definitely think that I'd rather go pick the two defensemen, get a guy who's going to be ready soon, A guy with medium top 4 potential, because if you sort by potential, right, we got a couple low elites. Brizgalov here, a good prospect, but certainly no surefire thing. To have Brizgalov, Markarin, and Coco, I feel like those are 3 defensemen that I can potentially bank on coming up someday. Because look, right now all we have is Lucas Cormier in the medium top 4 category. We've got Kondratiev and Brizgalov as low elites. Those are no sure things. Brizgalov certainly looks good, but he's no surefire bet. And then looking at the potential, everybody else is medium top 6. So what I need right now is defensemen. So I think trading down, not up, for that medium elite forward who's a sniper. I don't know if we'll ever see him be anything, right? I don't trust his makeup as far as the A- and then all the C's. We'll take a look at him, of course, but I think trading down, potentially picking up a first and a second, maybe a first and a third, then we move 3/3 to go up to the early second round. I think that would be the move I would want to make. As far as other elite players, we know for a fact that, I mean, there's a couple here. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead, take a look here at the medium top 6. Not the medium top 6. There are our forwards, actually. Stanislav Bure, you know, we want to take him in the 80s. There's Brian Watkins, who's 3 years away, 2 years away, 3 years away. Yeah. So a lot of these guys, Jason Ryan, we'd take him right where we're at, but dump cycle energy block is terrible. That's never going to be in your top 6. So that pretty much makes him that pretty much makes him undraftable in my mind. There's Ramo Santavori, but he's 3 years away. The 1 year away Francisco Markarin is definitely intriguing here. And he's 6'4", most likely a defensive, which we do need. And then Tony Coco here, you know, another really solid defenseman who's only a couple years away. As far as the other medium top 4 defensemen, we don't really know much about any of these guys. So I think moving down 32 and 34, so if we could potentially move to 31, we might be able to then move up. I mean, getting up to 32 would be tough, but I certainly think it's worth it. So I'm going to move down, accumulate a few more assets, and we're going to target those defensemen. I want those defensemen. I definitely want those defensemen. All right, so we're now here starting up the draft. The San Jose Sharks have the #1 overall pick. What would teams give us for our first? What am I looking at? Kaloran a third, and Olofsson, Bertuzzi, Doughty 2/3, a second next year in Doughty. Don't really want Doughty. 2 seconds would be nice. We'd be able to move, but okay. So I'm gonna have to make a trade myself. Does somebody at the end of the first round want to trade their first round pick? So let's see here. The Leafs want to trade their first round pick there at 30. That I can work with. I don't think they're gonna want. So if I ask them, they're not gonna want my first. What happened to Austin Matthews? He's just, I guess, less valuable than Mitch Marner? Okay. Probably the contract situation there, but I'm looking at guys that potentially are... Do they have anybody they want to get rid of? Defenseman-wise, they don't really have... I wouldn't call Toronto a team of defensemen here, but they got Morgan Rielly, which is pretty good. Other than that, yeah, no. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can flip see if they'll give me their first. Cormier a third and Manson. I mean, I'd give them Manson if they want Manson. 2/3 and Ty Smith. And we get to keep 18? I think I'm going to do this deal. I mean, we have still another third to play with. I'm sorry. I'm flabbergasted that they are willing to give up their first for 2/3 and Ty Smith. And that gives me the guarantee on Markarin. I would pass up on Coco and then maybe use another one of our thirds to move up. Thank you for that trade. Now, view the draft class. How high do we have to get a bona fide stud medium elite player? Ryan Ruborik is NHL ready with carry cycle, balance, and overload. He is looking like a two-way forward, but a great shot, 6'3" as well. We'd have to go up to 5 to get him. And if we didn't get him, I mean, we'd take the shot on potentially Matthias Kurtz, who we didn't scout at all in the Dell. Oh, that would be so rough to go up and get him there. But I mean, these guys are all NHL ready. They're all phenomenal. And then Tristan Barsh, offensive defenseman. I don't know if I'd want him. All right, so who's got 5? The Islanders have 4, and they want to get rid of it. Should we move up with the Islanders again? Let's take a look at what they would want. So the New York Islanders here have the 4th overall pick. They would want Mangiapane, Lekaramaki, and Siona. Hanifin, Lekaramaki. They really want... Wow, no, you are not getting Mason Jackson. Thank you. Okay, and then the Detroit Red Wings at 5. Now finally have a good pick. After the one we got from them, I believe, that wasn't very good. Or did we get New Jersey? We got New Jersey's pick. And at number 1 goes Faith. 81 overall. Was he projected at number 1? Why do I feel like he wasn't projected at number 1? Hedin was projected at number 1. What do they know that we don't about Hedin? Either way, I want to call Detroit and see what it would take to move up to that top pick. We don't really, actually, we don't need a guy now. We don't need a guy now. So I think giving up more assets than we need to move up that high would be a kind of crazy. The Carolina Hurricanes do want to give up 13. Now, if we move up, who are we targeting, right? Maybe it's a little bit crazy for me to go up and try and get Rubroek. We could try and get Glebov. I mean, that's not worth it for Glebov. Mikko, we know Mikko Maki is, we don't know it, right? And then there's also Dante Earl here, who could be medium elite, listed as a gem at 6'4". I think I'd rather go up and take Benjamin Eckford, right? I know I said he wasn't probably going to pan out, but he's, again, one of those guys that, like Torgen Rensfeldt, who we can potentially move for somebody we know is going to be good. Well, there's also Jason Ryan, who's 1 year away as a playmaker at 6'2", 185. He's got good size, but dump cycle, energy, block. Yeah, it's not great. Eckford is balance cycle, balance behind the net. That's also not great. But moving up to, I think, 13 with the Carolina Hurricanes is pretty... It's going to be a lot easier to do than potentially moving up all the way to 4 or 5 to get one of those elite prospects. So I'll give up our first. So we still have the 30th overall pick. And then I might throw in a first and a 4th to move up to 5 spots. I feel like that's pretty fair. Let me actually, hold on. Let me lower that a bit. We'll do a 1st and a 5th to move up 5 spots. It's projected. Okay. I'm just trying not to get fleeced here. Okay, we aren't there either. Okay. I guess I could give the 4th at 94, but I don't like that idea. How about I give you a 4th and a 5th? Would that do it? Beautiful. A 4th and a 5th to move up 5 spots, and we now can go get the medium elite sniper. So let's go ahead. Seem to pick number 13. Taking a look at the other players that went off the board. There's McKenna. Hedin. Oh my God. The second best player in the draft falls to Edmonton at 3. That is ridiculous. Oh, Edmonton, you are so... And he's a power forward too, which is going to be great. Oh my God. With all the X factors, he's going to just... With 90s in the shooting category, he's just going to dominate with McDavid and Draisaitl. That is absolutely ridiculous. Markov, who's the other guy we were looking at? Dmitry Markov, 72. Who was the... Kurtz here was the medium top 4 defenseman, so I'm actually pretty glad we didn't go up and get him. Here at pick number 13, though, I am going to take Eckford. I'd rather take the surefire medium elite over the playmaker here. I mean, he's 1 year away. Sure, he's got a higher overall, but Eckford's going to have the better potential and better trade value. Dante Earl could be the one that I'm passing on that's going to come back to bite me, but we are going to take Benjamin Eckford. We know for a fact he's a medium elite sniper. I think it's a no-brainer. And at 62 overall, that's not too bad. That's not a complete death sentence for any potential growth for him. As far as the rest of his stats, his shooting is decent at 79, right? It's not great. He's definitely got some work to do, so we won't sign him. We'll let him continue to grow and develop. Seattle will not... Oh, they take Maki. Mikko Maki is a 70 medium top 4 defensive defenseman. That's actually pretty good. The Florida Panthers here are going to take Dante Earl, who is a medium elite. So I probably should have taken the swing on Dante Earl, the defensive defenseman who's medium elite. But it is what it is. You know, it would have been great to have him as a potential, you know, we could even call them and see if they want to just flip-flop. Hey, Florida, you just want to Eckford for, like, I took your guy, you want to take my guy, and then we just trade them to each other. They want Eckford. They do want Eckford. And... I think I would do this deal. I think this is a deal I would do, just straight up. Trade rejected. Rude. Straight up. I mean, come on, man. Here's a 6th. All right, so we do get the medium elite defensive defenseman, who actually looks pretty good. Dante Earl here. Looks like a good defensive defenseman, a guy who's got decent puck skills and offensive awareness. That's what I kind of look for in defensive defenseman. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but they really kind of are an anchor. If you don't have guys that can at least contribute somewhat offensively. And I don't think we need another medium elite sniper here in Dante Eckford. I think this is a win-win trade. I gave up a 6th in the deal. Whoop-de-doo. But I got the guy that fit our need, and we can still now sim up to pick number 30 and go ahead and take our guy. Anybody else go? There's Days, who's medium top 4, not elite like he potentially could have been. There's the goaltender, Scarlett, who's already 60 at medium elite. Homer, 61, not a guy that we identify, but small playmaker. Tan, medium top 6. Okay, anybody else? The Carolina Hurricanes took Ryan with our pick. Jason Ryan, 73 overall playmaker, who actually looks like he's going to be pretty good right off the rip, right? 73 overall with these kind of stats, 83 passing, 81 offensive awareness. The shooting's not great, but hopefully it'll grow, right? I definitely think it's a good pick for them. I'm very happy with Dante Earl, the medium elite defensive defenseman. So now we will go ahead and take Francisco McCarron, who's 1 year away as another defensive defenseman, right? Or potentially a two-way defenseman, but he is 1 year away. Shoot pinch. I mean, he looks really good at 6'4" as well. Taking him. He's a 74 medium top 4. Francisco McCarron, two-way defender too, so not a defensive defenseman, and he really does look good everywhere. Wow, that is I'm clapping down here. I'm giving myself a little round of applause because I'm very happy. I'm actually clapping for Francisco McCarron because I'm happy because he looks good. He doesn't look like one of those weird prospects that's going to be a defender with 96 shooting as an 18-year-old, but has 72 defense. You guys know exactly the kind of player I'm talking about, where their stats are just all over the place and they don't look like they're going to be ever able to develop into something. You can just tell that mold of player, right? On the surface, they look good, but if you look at their underlying stats, it does not look good. So, potentially, Chicago, what do you want for your pick? Because we could also get another prospect defenseman. I actually don't want to go up and get another prospect defenseman. We traded for Dante, and we also drafted Francisco McCarron. Taking a look at the draft class, is there anybody around this pick that, I mean, Coco, yes, Coco would be nice. Coco would be very good, especially on a cold winter day. But I don't know if we need another defenseman. We could probably go up and take a swing on Aiden Lyon, who could be really good. Could also be pretty average at best. 2 years away here for Mathis Preston. We don't know what he is, but we know he's 2 years away with carry, shoot, efficient, balanced. I think that's a kind of guy worth going up for. I do. 2 years away. That's the kind of guy worth trading up for in my mind. That's going to be here and isn't going to be an albatross of a player that's you're just hoping for all the time and never actually develops. He's at pick. Where is he? Mathis Preston is at pick 39, so we don't have to move up very far. There's Oleg, yeah, he doesn't look that good either. There's a goaltender there. There's another goaltender here. Goaltenders here, there, and everywhere. But goaltender's really not an issue for us right now. I know you want to have a few in the pipeline, but I mean, Spencer Knight and Jerry Corso are probably going to be the two goaltenders for this entire save. As far as other guys here, I mean, this Pavel Tikhonov. Tikhonov. There we go. Tikhonov. He looks okay, but yeah, I think I'd like to move up to pick 39 or maybe a little bit higher. And then there's pick 83 here with Stanislav Bure, who's at medium top 6. And then low elite, Alan Ferguson here. Really one for the value at pick 95. We've got the Leafs pick at 94. So I'm hoping that he'll be there when we go up and get him. But I'm going to go ahead and pin Preston as well because, again, 2 years away with that chemistry. Oh, there goes the pick. Benson. But, yeah, 2 years away with that chemistry. I definitely think that we want to go ahead and grab a guy like that. So this is pick 33, 34, 35, 36, 33, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's pick 9. So maybe we want to trade with St. Louis or Vegas for their pick. I'm not sure what it would take to get them, but I mean, I guess we could call Chicago back because Chicago also doesn't want their early second round pick here at pick 35 from the Islanders. We take Corso and Peltier, Cormier a third and a third, Ruzicka, okay, Ruzicka a third and a third, Peltier, Peterka. Okay, so this one's got promise here. I don't know if I want to give up the 94th overall pick. Like I mentioned, I would like to use that. But I think giving up the Islanders third next year is not the end of the world. And then skaters matching the block. Who do we have that they... Oh, wow, they want a lot of our players. I will give them Ruzicka. I feel like that's fine. Siona, I mean, it actually looks decent. Kral is going to be a depth player for us. Peltier, he's 82 over. So Ruzicka is up to an 82. So it looks like they've kind of... He's kind of normalized with his morale, I think. His morale, not good, right? He's very unhappy. He's currently unhappy. A good power forward, too. Question is, at 27, he's the kind of guy that I think is fine to move on from. I need somebody worth a third-round pick in here. Do I have rookie skaters worth a third-round pick that I'm not going to be using? Kondratiev, I guess I could try him. Haymanow or Hellenius. Haymanow, wow, Lenny Haymanow as a two-way forward just doesn't have the puck skills. At 75, at 21, I actually wouldn't mind doing this deal at all to go up and get that. So, and then rookie skaters, do they have anybody young-ish? Kaiser, 23, 78, defenseman, that's not bad. Davidson here, 77 at 23. Actually, that's not bad either. Let me throw in Davidson here. They want to get rid of him. We'll trade Ruzicka a third next year in Haymanow for Davidson in a second. We go up, and we're going to go ahead and get that other forward prospect too. So, it sucks to lose Ruzicka. He was one of the guys that I was banking on, but there's too much of a log jam. Somebody's got to go. I think Peterka, I think Zari, I think Mangiapane, and I think that's the third line. The second line with potentially Zykov, Huberdeau, and Lekkerimäki could be great, and then the top line of Kuzmenko, Tage Thompson, and Lindholm, right? So I think that makes sense. Right now, Ruzicka is the odd man out playing on the fourth line. I don't want to do that to him. Matt Coronado is going to play there. Don't like that either. But Peltier, Coronado, and then we go ahead and sign a good fourth line center. I think that'll be fine for us. Ruzicka, I guess Ruzicka could play there. Ruzicka could very well be a fourth line center. I just don't like how unhappy he is. Does he have bad luck? He doesn't have... Oh, okay, the pick... Oh, God. All right, so Chicago. I think I'm going to call them back about that pick. I'm torn about trading away Ruzicka, right? I'm torn on this. Does he have poor locker room chemistry with anybody? He doesn't, and he's got good chemistry with Hanifin, Thompson, Huberdeau, Kuzmenko. He's kind of the guy that I would like to make happy. He's also kind of a fourth line forward. So I guess I'll pass on Chicago there. Nashville wants to trade away their pick, and then maybe I'll call St. Louis as well. So Nashville Predators going after their second-round pick from the Detroit Red Wings here at 36. They want Vladar, a third and a fourth, a second next year in Vladar, Corso, a sixth and a seventh, or McCarron. Yeah, no. None of those are going to work for me there, Nashville. So St. Louis now, I'm going to call them about 37. They don't want to give it away, but... oh, man, they really are asking for a lot more since they don't want to give it away, aren't they? Haymanow, a fourth, and Dursey. I'd really like to keep Dursey. I think he's the kind of guy that we're going to re-sign, and it'll be great for us. So that's 37. Vegas is at 38. It's riskier, but I'm still going to call them and see what's going on. Vegas, draft pick at 38. Do you guys have a better... Ruzicka in 2/3, Peltier, a third and a third, Cormier, a third and a fourth, a second in Peltier, Peterka, and a third. Okay, so I really think Nashville's asking... What they were asking for was way more in line with what I'd be willing to give up. Vladar is great for another year, but... his contract's so cheap, but giving up Vladar... a third and a fourth next year is really not giving up much. And maybe I could give them a second and a fourth. A second, yeah, maybe I do that. And then the third pick, I'm going to take a low elite. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm keeping 94. But we probably want to keep Vladar. A third, a fourth, and then draft picks. I'll give him a fourth this year. Trade rejected, quite far off. Okay, I probably need to give them some other rookie skater that I'm willing to give up. That's probably equal to Vladar. How much value does Vladar have? He's actually got a good amount of value. Holy cow. Rookie skaters. Heyman now, I feel like I'm fine with giving him up. I don't feel like he's going to be somebody that's going to develop into something for us. And maybe I can keep the third, and then I take back a player that they are asking me to take back, like Livingston. There's actually Delgazio here, and I could probably get this trade to go through. Trade rejected. Okay, I'll give up the third next year. We got 24 seconds before it wipes the trade. I'll give up the third from the Islanders. Heyman out and a third for the second. A bit low for them. Oh, there goes Lyon. Aiden Lyon. We were thinking about taking a swing on him. I'm glad I didn't trade all this to go up and get him. Who was I trading all this to go up and get? Oh, yeah, that's right. Mathis Preston. So, okay. So here we go. I'm going to call Nashville back. Let's call the Predators. See if we can get this trade going, and then we can get a move on here because nobody wants to accept my freaking trade offers. 36th and a potential, like, I guess, just who do they have that has no value? Lauzon has got another year left on his deal. We'll just, Mahura or Lauzon. Lauzon could be a pretty good defensive defenseman that would fit on our first defensive pairing. I'll take him, and then I will give them skaters matching the block, Heyman out, and then I will also give them a third next year. There we go. So Heyman out in a third for Lauzon in the second. Trade accepted. Beautiful. So because I wasn't going after a prospect, that one actually went through. Lenny Heyman, I understand, was, I guess, a favorite of some of the guys in the locker room, but that's okay. I think it picked 36 here. There's Coco. He's a 65 medium top 4, so that's not bad at all. But I am very excited to announce that the Calgary Flames have drafted Mathis Preston, the center sniper, who's a 67. Oh, my goodness. He's 2 years away. Yay. 2 years away from being 2 years away, it really feels like. So that is an absolute swing and a miss. Oh, man. That one hurts a ton. So I guess now I just go to 94. We take the guys that we've pinned other than him. Oh, man. And there's Ferguson, Alan Ferguson. So that's not actually too bad. We'll go ahead and get a low elite here into the fold. A low elite sniper, 51 overall. He's probably more trade bait than anything, but you never know. Something to pick 114 now. What do we have with this pick? Anybody around here that's decent with potential? 2-bar low elite 2-bar medium elite goaltender, excuse me. Doubt he's actually going to be elite, but you know what? At pick 114, I'll get another goalie in the pipeline. He's a medium fringe starter, so he probably won't be anything, but he could be an AHL level player for us. And then now here in the 7th round, I don't think there's going to be anybody. I mean, low top 9 Lovejoy. Low top 9 is actually not that bad. Let's see if we can find a trade for this pick. I doubt anybody's going to give anything significant for a 7th round pick, but hey, I've seen crazier things happen. Sam Steele in a 7th, and then some. Hey, look at Hurdle, a medium top 9. Some of these medium top 9s is basically, honestly, a medium top 9 is better than what we would get at this pick. A low top 9 is what we're looking at. So Harrison, Kozak, Hurdle, honestly, as a medium top 9, with 0 years left on his deal. He's unsigned, so Hurdle is 18 and 60 medium top 9 power forward. They took him in the first round in 2026. Are you kidding me? This year they took him in the first round. This year they took him at 32. Oh my goodness! And now they're dumping him for just for the memes. I'm taking that trade. Oh my god! They took him in the first round. Literally waited 24 hours, and we're like, you know what? For a 7th, you go. That is crazy. I just have to take that trade. I mean, I'm not going to get too much better. Well, with our 7th round pick, I was not going to get a 60 medium top 9. I can't believe they took him in the first. Good Lord. All right, so that is the draft for us. So a bit of a swing and the miss on Mathis Preston. Would have loved to have him be a medium top 6 at that 67 overall. Medium top 9, he could still contribute as a 3rd, 4th liner in just a couple years, but it's going to be a little bit more of an uphill climb for him than I originally had anticipated. So, here we go. Our coaches are gone, and I think I'm going to let them walk. I think I will. And then we will just go ahead and offer coaches in free agency, which is not a great strategy. And then we have a bunch of scouts to re-sign, as well as RFAs that are expiring. So, Let's take a look at the RFAs. That's what interests you guys the most. The coaches and the more specifically the scouts, I will take care of. Spencer Knight does not want a contract extension. He is way more willing now. But I'm gonna just qualify him. I'm not gonna actually sign him. I'm gonna let Home walk. I need to sign Jerry Corso, release Kavaka, release Home. It's too crowded down there in the AHL anyway. 3-year, there we go. Perfect. So we aren't spending much on goaltenders, which makes me fine spending money on Spencer Knight. Now, looking at the blue line, Hanifin, Jackson, Dursey, right? Those are our guys. Dursey, 4 years at $5 million. I'd love to get him back for that. We'd still have $21 million left. 21.7 actually after he signs that deal. Josh Manson wants a contract. $4 million for Josh Manson I don't think is worth it. Of course, I don't think I can see his chemistry now. Of course, I cannot see his chemistry now. But I don't think he's it. Mark Giordano wants 1.6. I'm going to release him. I think I will see if I can sign Kral. He wants 3 years at 2, or Lauzon, excuse me. I'm going to release him as well. So that was a nothing of a trade. I think Josh Manson, I'm going to release him, right? We got Hanifin, Jackson, Dursey, Hughes, Cormier, somebody, right? We'll sign somebody in free agency, and then Kral can be our 7th defenseman or Kuznetsov, right? I feel like that's the role they're perfect for. Manson, I'm going to let him go. And yeah, so we'll have plenty of space. I'll do the AHL in just a second. And now taking a look at the forwards, I don't believe there's any forwards of note expiring. We've got Thompson, Lindholm, Kuzmenko, Zykov, Huberto, Mangiapane, Peterka, Zari, Pelchier, Ruzishka, Yamamoto, Johansson. I think I can let both of these guys go. I mean, a 2-way deal for Kyler Yamamoto is kind of absurd at this point. I could send him down to the AHL or somebody would claim him. I think it makes too much sense for me to sign him, considering what he did. Ryan Johansson is only getting older, wants a 1-way deal. I can't believe Yamamoto wants a 2-way deal. That's crazy. And other than that, Siona, I'm definitely going to qualify him for that. Pospisil, 1 million. What do you actually want? Yep, I think I'll give him that. But Siona, I will offer him a contract as well. Anybody else down here? Bjork, what do you want? I feel like Bjork is kind of clogging up from some of our younger guys like Stromgren and potentially even Mathis Preston getting some ice time. So I'm going to take care of that. But I think everybody has pretty much signed or at least been offered the contract. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the AHL. And then I will catch up with you guys after I do the AHL scouts and coaches and all that good stuff. So I've taken care of the scouts. I think I'm just going to let the coaches go. We are going to need to sign like 6 coaches this year, which is crazy. Hoping that I can do that with the budget allotted to me. So I'm going to prioritize the head coach, obviously, and then work my way down from there. But for now, we're ready to advance today and see who is gonna accept the contract. So Pospisil will. Dursey, a little bit more money. Okay, he's going to reject this dollar value. I'd re-sign, but I want to win now. And I don't. Ooh, okay. Although he's going to reject the dollar value, that's fine by Yamamoto. Bjork, too many players at his position. Okay. Some of the AHL guys are back. Siona. I didn't read that. It was different. Okay. Larrabee's back. Corso is going to sign. Brizgalov, Francisco McCarron. Those guys are all going to be AHLers for us. Sean Dursey, I would really like to bring him back. So offering him a contract of, I think 4 years at 2.5 is definitely not bad at all. Considering he wants a contract extension, that's really not that bad. Kyler Yamamoto doesn't want to come back. Bjork, I guess, would want more money. I'll give him $900,000. I don't think it's going to really make a difference. Kyler Yamamoto is a guy that, I don't know, I feel like we can move on from him. At a 2-way deal, I guess, 1 year, 2-way deal at $1 million. If he plays in the AHL, great. If he's scratched, great. Whatever. It doesn't really bother me. Spencer Knight, have you changed your tune, buddy? I mean, I guess 3 years at $6.5 million. We get him until he's 28. I don't know. I kind of want to sign him long term. So I'm going to see what he's going to ask for in free agency and then get into a bidding war. And then if somebody wants to offer him a contract that I have to decide whether to match, that'll be exciting. So we'll see. Taking a look here. So there we go. There's some scouts going to accept their contract renewals. Dursey wants more money. Yamamoto wants more money, but Bjork is back. Okay. So, Dersey, how much money do you actually want? Will you tell me how much money? I mean, I'll give him $5.5 million. I'll do it. Screw it. Kyler Yamamoto, I'm not going to haggle with you. It's not worth it, buddy. Just go to the main roster, taking a look at defensemen now so we can see if Sean Dersey does decide to resign or not. Advance the day. There's another scout. There's another scout. And wow, he's going to reject at this dollar value too? He doesn't think that we have what it takes to win now. That is actually kind of crazy. I'd give you a 4-year, I guess 4.6, 4.7, 5.7, excuse me. I think 5.7 is fine for an 85. Oh, he's our second best defenseman. That's really not that much money. Anything sub 6, I think, is good. So there we go. We'll advance the day again. There's another guy. And then Sean Dersey is going to accept the contract extension. There we go. Appreciate that you chose to offer me the type of money that I feel I am worth, so I decided to resign. Well, that's good. That's real good. So now we have 385 defensemen. We might get one more. We still have 21 million in cap space, might I add. The only problem is expiring. Actually, hold on. Wants extension. Nope. Main roster. You can see if we sort by potential, yeah, both Shakeup and Jackson are due for extensions next year, so blowing too much money in free agency could prove fatal for us. We're going to go ahead and advance the day. We'll get to free agency. Our coaches were not retained, which I totally planned on doing. And I know that sounds sarcastic, but I actually did plan on not bringing them back. But before we actually, you know what? I want to see. Did Rasmus Andersson make it to free agency? Does not look like he did. Defenseman. The best defensemen in free agency are 85s. A 1-year deal for John Carlson, or a 3-year deal for Jacob Trouba at sub 7. Actually, not the worst thing in the world as a 2-way defender. That is just really solid all around with some X factors. I like that. I like that idea a lot. He could certainly slot in there, and that would potentially bump Hughes down. Actually, I don't think he would. That would be 4. No, he would. Hughes would be the 5th best defenseman. So maybe I want to get one of these 83s. A guy like Joseph here. Pierre-Olivier. He's an RFA. Of course he is. UFAs, please. Josh Manson, we could bring him back. Mario Ferraro, 82, 2-way defenseman. We have no idea about him, but he actually looks really good. A defensive defenseman here, and Dylan DeMello can bring him back. We know he was okay when he was here. Brody's a 2-way defenseman. There's some decent options out here. Jamie Alexiak. I don't know why he's asking for so much more than Manson. They're pretty similar. As a matter of fact, Manson's got some better stats. He just doesn't hit as hard, but that doesn't bother me very, very much. Anybody here that's upset? Sean Walker? Sean Walker's not a bad defenseman at all. He's a pretty good defensive-oriented defenseman. So that could be another option there. Oli Mata, 2 years at 2.5 as a defensive defenseman. Doesn't look bad at all. So really what I want to do right now, though, is take a look at contract extensions for Shakeup and for Mason Jackson. So let's take a look at what they're going to ask for. Dmitry Shakeup, okay, expiring deals. They both want extensions. So we're going to start with Dmitry Shakeup because I have a feeling he's going to be the most expensive. Oh my God, I'm giving him 8 years right now. 8 years, $8 million. Absolutely doing that right now. No doubt about it in my mind. Get him till he's 28 at $8 million a year. Heck, I'd even do, you know what? No. I'm going to try 8 years, $8 million. Beautiful. That is what I want to give him for sure. He wants 6 years, $8 million. I'm giving him 2 extra years at $8 million. Call me Mr. Generous. But that would leave us with $17 million in potential caps extension dollars. Oh my goodness, he's developed plenty of X factors, unless he had all these. I don't remember him having all of these X factors. He may get a gold, which is exciting. Jackson, offer him an extension. He would take 8 years at $5 million. I'm going to lock both of these guys up right now. That's $13 million for 2 guys that are probably the future of this franchise. And we'd still have $12 million in cap space available, so I can go out and get whoever the heck I wanted in free agency. Oh, right. Spencer Knight. Oh my God. Wants nothing now. There's a sweet spot in here. I know it. I mean, 8 years. I probably don't want to give him 8 years. I can give him 5 years, $7 million a year. I think I'd do that. I might actually wait. I'm gonna hold his feet to the fire and let him know that that's not cool. Putting up a 404 for the first half of the season and then not actually, playing well. There is one team interested. I believe that's us. Every RFA, I think, has one team interested. Let's confirm that. Yep, all 3 RFAs. There's Dustin Wolf. I know you guys didn't like the Dustin Wolf trade, but there he is. I mean, we could get him back. We could flip-flop the 2, but I'm cool with Spencer. He wants 1 year at 6.2. I guess he wants to prove him, bet on himself. Yeah, so what I see in the contract screen is the same as what he asks for out here. Okay, cool. So we're gonna maybe piss him off a bit, but you know what? So be it. And then now it's time to do the coaching. This is crazy. I need a head coach, associate, and assistant. I guess I don't need an assistant or a goalie in the AHL. But the NHL head coach is the most important one. Hawley here is the best generalist, it looks like. The power play, honestly, there's another, who is this? Braden Nakis. What kind of, he's a balanced coaching style, balanced teacher, offensive. Will help get the most out of your offense. It'll bias more towards an offensive line, tend to play more offensive players throughout the lineup, and allocate more time to their offensive forwards. Versus defense will help get the most out of your defensive forwards. Okay. So these 2 guys here at the top, I probably would want to go after Buckley here. Buckley does not fit Thompson well. What does this scheme fit? Behind the net, carry, shoot, efficient, balanced. Overload, carry, cycle, balanced. Pinch, cycle, balance, balanced. I do like that, although we did just draft somebody who has shoot. There's Paddock here. I'm trying to think about money, too. He is very similar. He's the same. They are the same coach. Okay, so we do have to keep in mind our issues with our market size and everything, too. There's also the potential here for signing a guy like Gord Clutterbuck. Behind the net, yep, they're the same. They're all the same, so we don't miss out on something like that. We're not a rebuilder. In what world are we considered a rebuilder? Seriously? Okay, Hawley. I mean, you compare him to Hawley, right? He's got the A offense to the, A offense, A plus versus A minus A plus to B, but then B to A minus, so the penalty kill will take a step back, but that's not the end of the world. The teaching, A minus to A is not that big of a difference, and then B to B minus is also not that big of a difference. They're basically the same coach, except Clutterbuck would probably have schemes that fit better with our players, right? We know Anthony Hawley here is at 63. Do we have anybody that's higher than Anthony Hawley? We know we kind of tailored the team to him. There's Braden Nakis here too. I don't really like that pinch, balance, hold the line balanced. That's almost as bad. I think he's actually got worse schemes than Anthony Hawley did. I definitely don't want to give some of these guys with the B. It does matter your coaches overall. I've noticed that for sure. So just finding the best scheme fit and getting +5s, I don't think is the way it works anymore. I've noticed that when I have a good coach, I tend to do well, but hiring bad coaches tend to do poorly. So I'm going to interview the coaches. I think we have a plethora of options. I'd like to go with Paddock, Buckley, or Clutterbuck. Any of them I think would be phenomenal. Whoever is willing to come, I'm going to throw the money at them, right? 5. I mean, the $3.5 million here would save us a ton of money, would give us $3 million to sign the rest of our staff. But if we have to sacrifice the rest of the staff to get the best coach available, I might do that. I don't know. Which guy do you think is the best coach available? I might actually lean towards number 2 here, right? He's got the better defense. Sure, his power play is not as good, but his penalty kill is just as good. He's a better teacher, and he's got more coach influence. So he would help develop. Kevin Buckley would help develop our players or our coaches coming up. So, but they're the same coach, right? For all intents and purposes, they're the same coach. So I'm gonna do some interviews, see who we should be offering out to, and then we'll come back with some more. I mean, we got a lot to do. We have a lot to do. All right, so I'm looking through now the free agent defenseman, and I think we're going to go after Nick Jensen. The 2-year deal, probably not what I want to do. I'd probably give him 1 year, $2.5 million, see how things play out. At 35, I'm worried about his longevity, but I think he's the perfect kind of guy to pair with Cormier, that veteran experience, that veteran presence, to help him out there. We've got Dursey that can play with Jackson, or Hannafin that plays with Jackson, and then the other one can play with Luke Hughes. And I think Nick Jensen is probably the guy that I want. I looked through guys that hit, that block, don't take too many penalties, and then a decent giveaway to takeaway ratio, right? Nick Jensen was playing a lot of ice time. I feel like in a lesser role. He was playing like 20-some minutes and then 18 minutes. Now, I think if he goes down to 13, 14 minutes, I feel like we can get really the best out of him next to an offensive defenseman. So we're going to go ahead, sign him to that deal. And then I haven't advanced a day yet, but I have offered a coach. We're going to go after the number 2 guy, save a little bit of money so I can go up above his contract ask. And once we find a coach, I'm going to find coaches that complement his style, right? I'm going to try and really focus on getting coaches that mesh well and they gel and they think the same and that they can all coach as one unit. So we're going to move up here. And we've got a trade offer. Johnson Fjallby, a 4th and a 5th for a 2nd and a 6th. I don't see why I wouldn't do this deal. It's a freaking 2nd. I mean, I know I give up a 4th this year, and I already gave up, I think, a 3rd, but a 2nd this year is great. So I'm going to accept that deal right there. Thank you, New York. So taking a look, I'm pretty sure Spencer Knight is still going to be asking for whatever he was. Yeah, the 1 year at 1.6. We are the one team interested, so nobody's gone out to offer him a contract. Nobody's RFAing. Advance the day here. Don't feel the quality. That's what I was afraid of, is the coach was not going to accept the offer because of our team's quality. Nick Jensen is going to go ahead and accept the contract offer there, though. But coaching staff, I am kind of worried about this because I can't just throw a ton of money at him, right? I've got 6.4. He is asking for 4.9, right? So maybe I can get up to, I was at like 5.13, I think. If I get up to 5.1, that might be just enough to get him to go. But then I only have 1.3 to build the rest of the coaching staff, which is not a lot. 1.3, you know, you take a look here at your coaches, your NHL, I mean, they're already at 1 point something. So I'd probably have to go down here to the bottom of the list for associate coaches and then assistant coaches, right? So you're looking at potentially 0.9 plus 0.6. That's already 1.5. I'd only have 1.4, right? So we're probably going to go to the bottom of the barrel down here. But I feel like getting a main coach and then surrounding him with good coaches. He's also got good coach influence. So it'll help these other guys grow. I'm hoping that'll work for us here. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that Mason Jackson is going to renew his contract, and so is Zykov. That is huge. We love to see that. Next, is that going to sway Spencer Knight's opinion at all of how much money he's going to want for a long-term deal? I feel like he hasn't really changed his asking price. I feel like maybe 3 years. I just don't want to get back into this scenario. I feel like 5-6 years is where I want to be with him. Get him till he's 30. Figure it out then at like $7 million. I feel like that's good. We'll just keep advancing the day. I'm going to work on the whole coaching thing. I feel like he doesn't want to be here, right? The question is there going to be another team out there to sign him? Is he just going to budge? Or should we go after, oh gosh, we really are going to miss out on a good coach if we don't get Buckley, right? If we do not get Buckley, I'm going to just keep offering him a contract. Eventually, I think he's got to budge because nobody else wants him. We may just have to settle for a bad coach, which would really set this franchise back, I feel. But this is risky. So I'm going to keep going here. I'll let you guys know when I have a coaching staff in place. I'll just show you the whole coaching staff. I won't waste your time about popping in every time he says no to me. There it is again. So I'm going to keep working on him. I'm going to keep hammering home to him that he wants to come to Calgary, and he may just have to accept. So as I'm working on the coaching staff, we're very close. I have a full NHL coaching staff. I need to sign an AHL coach, but Spencer Knight is going to just accept the $4.5 million qualifying offer, and I feel like that's fine. I could have gotten him for 5 years at $7 million, which is probably about what I should have done. But again, I don't know. We'll see here. I can't extend him a contract again until January 1st. So we take a look at goalies. I cannot give him an extension. So I'm hoping that he improves his play and we can find a good middle ground. But maybe 5. I was probably too focused on the on getting the coaching staff all situated. But he's back. We have a goalie. We have a team. Can't wait to look at it and the coaching staff here in just a minute. All right, here we are at the owner expectations. You guys know what that means. It's time to see what we are expected to do to keep our job and what kind of team we just might be. He thinks we're a seller. I don't know why. I really disagree. The owner's very unhappy. Wants to get 17 road wins. Wants to upgrade the club seats by a level, I think, again, and make 87% of the profit again. So he's expecting less profit, which is fine. Hopefully that means that we're going to have a good team on our hands, and oh boy, we do. We got some guys, Lindholm and Kuzmenko, both beautifully fit that top line. And then we have Huberdeau with Zykov. Oh, that looks really good. Lekaramaki still gets a +2. Peltier here with Zari and Peterka. That's a little more concerning that those guys at the bottom aren't getting, it's not as good for them. But I think Matt Coronado is a guy that he fits the first line great. He would get a +5, but, or a +3, excuse me. I think he's fine there. Ruzicka, don't know why he's down to a 79. We know he's like an 82 or something like that. Taking a look at the defense, we've got Hannafin with Dursey. Mason Jackson actually is going to play with Noah Hannafin, get the +2, and then we get a +1 with Cormier and Jensen. That's exactly what we wanted. Luke Hughes is pinch shoot, doesn't really fit the coach. Would get Cormier would get a +1, but I'm fine with Dursey and Hughes. I feel like that's a pretty good pairing. Hannafin, I feel like these are the pairings we got to stick with. And Mason Jackson, that's what was most important. He fits there. So Lucas Cormier would get a +3. We could do then Luke Hughes down with Nick Jensen. If we played Cormier with Mason Jackson, it's certainly an option. Cormier's probably in over his head defensively. But hey, you never know. I mean, heck, we could even put Luke Hughes with Mason Jackson up there and still get a +1. The +3 is probably better because it boosts Mason Jackson even more. But I feel fine with Hannafin and Jackson up there. I feel really happy about these lines. So the new coaching staff is in place. Hopefully, it helps us out. It was so tedious and annoying to do all of that coaching stuff. So the second line seems to be an issue that we don't really have people that fit the second line well at all, besides Huberdeau. Kuzmenko obviously fits super well, and then there we go. So our new coach, I guess, isn't really a great fit, but thanks to the X factors that our players have, we are able to get some chemistry. And in goal, we got Spencer Knight still in 87. He's on that 1 year, $4.5 million qualifying offer. Scratched his Pospisil and Crawl. So yeah, I do actually really like the team. Ruzicka, I'm hoping, has a good year. He's listed as a third line checking forward. Yeah, I feel like these lines, I'm very happy with them. I mean, we can still get a +2 there. If we move Mangiapane, we get a +2. So Peterka or Zari can always slot up there if Lekaramaki is not doing well. But playing him with Zykov and Huberdeau, I feel like he's going to get points. Huberdeau's playmaking ability should be able to absolutely carry him. And his defensive category did grow. 80 defensive awareness and 1 point in shot blocking and stick checking. So I'm very happy there. Taking a look in the minors, where we just head coach preferred lines. I do need to sign 2 AHL level forwards. And then defensively, there's Oleg Brizgalov and McCarron. They don't fit here on the bottom pairing because they are pinch cycle, pinch shoot. So they both would fit higher up, which we will go ahead and do. Yeah, Brizgalov, I want to give him more ice time. Gilbert for Lyle, that's fine. I mean, it's not really like that matters. Really, the guys we're worried about are Brizgalov and McCarron. But we're going to go ahead and flip-flop them, and there we go. So they fit together. They're both two-way defensemen, both left-handed defensemen. I can't really figure out something that would look better. So I'm fine with it here. Siana, Kearns, Schwint, Hellenius there is now a 77, so that's nice to see him. Move him up, get the +3 with Schwint and Siana, Bjork, Nikolaev, and Kearns, Sjoberg, Emilio Pettersson, William Stromgren. So yeah, I feel good about these lines. I really do. And then goaltending-wise is Dawes and Dansk, but scratched is Jerry Corso, who's a 71. Probably want him playing as the backup down here, so I could probably move on from Oscar Dansk and keep Nico Dawes around. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. He's the only guy scratched too, because I need to sign some guys. But I'm pretty satisfied with how the team looks. I think the +2 with Huberdeau, Zykov, and Lekaramaki. We'll see if Lekaramaki can fill a role. If not, obviously we have other options. We can move him down. Peltier could then slot up, and he could play on the fourth line or the third line. And I'm actually happy with this team. We get the +5 on the top line, which is great. Oh my God, that is so much better. What was I thinking? Huberdeau and Lindholm get to play with Lekaramaki and get a +4, and then Zykov plays with Thompson and Kuzmenko and gets a +5. So, don't know why I just didn't even think about it, but I think this is going to be a fantastic line. Tage Thompson can play on the right. He is technically a power forward, but I think Dmitry Zykov can play first-line center with Kuzmenko as well, who now has plenty of X factors. Huberdeau, Lindholm, and Lekaramaki. Now all of a sudden it's a 92, 94, 85, and we're still looking good here. So honestly, this is really good. I really like this. I will stick with this. This is good. But you guys let me know your thoughts on what I should do. Maybe I need to make a trade. Maybe I butchered the coaching thing. Captains. We need to officially decide our captains. Huberdeau's captain. Mangiopane's got the A, and Lindholm's got the A. Feel like I should strip Mangiapane and give it to one of our defensemen. Maybe Mason Jackson. I don't know if he's quite ready for a letter on his sweater. But I think for now, we take a look at the player morale. Who are listed as the leaders in the locker room? Lekaramaki is a presence, and Dmitry Zykov is a leader. So maybe we want to give him the C. I guess it kind of makes sense if he's a leader in the locker room. I think that would be good. Anybody is distraught? No, not really. Ruzicka is not happy, but he's getting there. So I think I'm actually kind of happy with how things are going. Taking a look at the coaching staff. I did kind of have to gut the AHL coaching staff to get us an NHL coaching staff worth a damn. But I promoted our AHL head coach to head coach. And I'm hoping that helps the staff chemistry because we have an offensive coach, a balanced coach, and an offensive coach. Physical coach in Corvo here. Probably shouldn't be paying my NHL goalie coach $400,000. I'm starting to realize I'm starting to actually budget it now. The AHL team, we used to be paying Whitney $1 million. They're barely making $1 million as a combined unit now, but honestly, they won the cup. Whitney deserves a promotion, and our coaches pretty much all fit the bill. Here you can see their ratings. I'm hoping that the coach influence from Buckley over the next 5 years can help improve Whitney and Furtok. I think those two guys look really good. We don't have to worry about them for a while. No contract situation there. Corvo, we'll see. Maybe we move on from our goalie coach. The AHL then, hopefully they can continue to get a little bit of a boost from the NHL trickling its way down. But we'll see. I mean, it's the AHL. I'm not too concerned. I'm more concerned with individual performances on the AHL than I am the team going very far. So the Wranglers got their cup. It's time for us to get ours. Let me know your thoughts on what we should be doing with the team. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all.